welcome to Soccer Yanks. I am Dave, your co-Soccer Yank.
And I am Dan, and we are here to bring you the beautiful game from the American perspective. It's been
a while since you have heard our voices, yes.
That was incredible, Dave.
Thank you.
That's what you've been doing? You've been working on your singing.
I've been singing it since the last podcast. It's been a while.
It's been, I think November was the last time we were both together on the podcast. It's been, the end of the year is rough. We got a lot of stuff going on between school, work, family, holidays. We apologize for the absence, but we're back.
We're still here.
We're back, and you know what? Just in time for heroes to come and fight a villain. Sepp Blatter, standing on the top of the FIFA mountain, has challengers.
This big red nose.
The big piece of news this week. Luis Figo threw his hat in the ring to say, you know what? I'm going to challenge Sepp Blatter. It's okay. That's good. You know, Figo of Sporting, Barca, Real, and Inter lore. I mean, he played at some very prestigious clubs, very European. You know, a lot of big European influence. And I think the Europeans are trying to really flip over Sepp Blatter, although he is a European himself. But I think Europe and South America both feel a little bit jaded with Blatter. I mean, from our perspective, I would imagine there's corruption from the top.
It's comical in a very sad way how we just kind of accept. Okay, yeah, FIFA's corrupt, sky's blue. Tide goes in, tide goes out. There's no change. It's like actual politics in the U.S. We're kind of apathetic to it.
Yeah, I mean, it's almost like we've just come to accept. It's never going to change. I mean, the issue is there's a couple of other guys that are running as well. There's a guy from Jordan. I forget his name.
Al-Dabi. No joke.
No, I am not. I don't remember. I don't know if you were joking or not because I don't remember the guy's name. I just know he's from Jordan, and he actually got a lot of support from the Europeans.
Prince Ali, I believe.
Yes, it is.
Of Alibaba. Prince Ali.
Wow, we really are rusty. And there's another guy, David something.
Manners.
No. David Galina or something like that. I don't know. I don't know much about him. But all right, so I think these kind of guys would all they're going to do is divide the votes of the respectable voters, and Sepp Blatter wins. I mean, the real issue is each country gets a vote. Each country that's in FIFA gets a vote. So Africa has 56 votes. Asia has 41. South America, although a football powerhouse, only has a meager 10. They have less than Oceania. Oceania has 11. CONCACAF 41 and UEFA 54. Now, Sepp Blatter, starting back in the 70s, when he first became like an executive with FIFA, he went into Africa and he kind of made like his mission statement. And I'm not sure how much of this was really philanthropic or really mastermind politico type thing, but he made it his mission to put a World Cup in Africa. And he went around to a lot of different African countries, and during this time, and he's continued even since the 2010 World Cup, he's pumping money into African soccer, and he's helping those countries develop, which is good. Now, is it dastardly because he's really not doing it because he cares for soccer, only because he really cares about getting those votes? So it's almost a given that he's going to get all of Africa, or 95% of Africa. Same thing goes for Asia, because he's pushed Asian soccer as well. So that's 97 votes if he happens to get all of them. The other ones combined are only 116. So it only takes him corrupting a few Caribbean countries, and
Let's not forget, the bigger these leagues are in these easily corruptible states or countries or continents like Asia and Africa, where there's been cases for the last 10 years. Not only are you encouraging the players to come in on this sort of underhanded playing, but the bookies come in on it because they understand that there's now a bigger league with bigger spotlight and more. Do you know what I'm saying? It's
right.
more. It's a universal. I mean, first time I've seen the African Cup of Nations broadcast in my lifetime was this past one in the United States.
The one that's not going on right now.
And the Asia Cup as well. I never had a chance to see it. So the more visibility that these leagues have...
I don't want to pin too much of the corruption on the individual countries because I think that they're actually receiving benefit from Blatter.
Yeah.
Like they're actually getting legitimate support. And in turn they're giving him support. But again, it's the motive. It's also when it comes time for, World Cup time to pick a host, how much of how much of those favors does he call back in and say, now I don't really want you to vote who gives the best presentation. I want you to vote Qatar. Or I want you to vote Russia. Don't worry, the third one from now will be back in Africa. You know what I mean? I don't know how much of that maneuvering he's doing, that's the nasty part. And I'm pretty sure from the uproar, from the fringes of the FIFA organization, from the people that have some morality and some ethics, it is believed that this is happening. So... okay, yeah, Asia and Africa are getting benefit from Sepp Blatter. And in turn, it's like, well, I gave you something, scratch your back, now you got to scratch mine. And they kind of feel, they have to. So, this is tough. Do I think that Figo has a chance of beating him this time? No. But I think they can learn. I think they can learn from this election what might work, what might not work. And I think, it's going to be very difficult to get this man out of power. It's going to be very, very difficult.
Yeah, barring heart disease.
Yeah.
I don't know about them rich diets they have at those fancy dinners.
What, eating Rolexes?
Truffled Rolexes.
They had to give back all the Rolexes that they got from Brazil. Did you hear about that?
What?
Like the FIFA committee, there was several members of a FIFA committee. They were all given like $15,000 or $20,000 Rolexes during the World Cup. And they came out. They had to give them all back.
Based in Switzerland as well. Who would have thought?
Yeah.
I think they'd be neutral on something like we're rusty.
In other big news, while we were away,
in case you missed it,
and you may have heard that New York City FC shat the bed with Frank Lampard. And essentially that they never really had him under contract. Although press releases said that he was a designated player, that he was under contract beginning August 1st, that he was the fourth official player on the roster, and that he would be joining the team for spring training.
Good thing they pulled the plug on that Thanksgiving Day parade float.
So according to the timeline, somewhere around November, December, Manuel Pellegrini picks up the phone and calls the Sheikh Mansour, and goes, "Yo, Sheikh, I never thought that this 37-year-old bum would be playing some of the best soccer he's played in a long time. I need him. Make it happen." I'm paraphrasing. I'm sure it wasn't exactly like that. Then it comes out that, okay, his loan is going to be extended to the end of the season. But the verbiage started to change. It was almost like, well, he's not on loan. Like,
option to come back.
It's not. It wasn't like. And then because the uproar kind of came like, well, shouldn't NYCFC say, well, I'm not extending the loan. I need him. He's a marquee player. We're inaugural season. We need him. He's the face of the franchise, and we've built our season ticket holder, promotional advertising campaign around him. They didn't have the power to. As things started to unravel, what really transpired was that Frank Lampard signed a contract with City Football Group, the holding company of all of the Manchester City affiliated clubs.
The Umbrella Corp.
It's the Umbrella Corp. So he never had a contract. He had a... I wrote down the words here. I wrote down the words because I don't want to mess it up. He had a... Did I write it down? Yeah, a non-contractual commitment to play for NYCFC.
That's some verbiage.
So there's been lying. There's a lot of lying, and I'm not sure if the I think the people that kind of run NYCFC, I think they were left in the dark a little bit. I think they kind of just got left holding the bag. I think the folks in Manchester and also part of the overall company structure really were manipulating this. Now, there was some, did they sidestep financial fair play? I think they didn't, from how do I understand. But there is something that they're doing that's very big no-no in the EPL. Manchester City does not hold the contract for Frank Lampard. City Football Group holds the contract, right? As they've stated, that's called third-party ownership. That's not allowed in the EPL. But the FA is really brushing this one under the rug. It's really, really, really obnoxious. It's not right. That's technically the club does not own the contract. The third party does. I think that's third-party ownership. I don't think that's I think if City Football Group was a football club, it'd be fine because then it would be a loan. But they're not a football club.
It's a business organization.
They're an organization.
It's like Fenway Sports Group having
holding Balotelli's contract
to play first base or change tires.
He might be better at first base. Who knows? He might be better at first base. He's got a long reach. That'll take a few inches off the.
Is a back heel effective in baseball? Not really.
I did, however, read something that was kind of interesting. They have not used this technique, but it's very possible that they did uncover a loophole. So, Frank Lampard is a New York City FC player. Excuse me, Manchester City player. If this maybe in this example is poor because his contract ends in a few months, but let's say his contract ended at the end of next season. In 2-3 months, they could sell him, or the next window, in the July window or whatever, they could sell him to New York City FC and generate revenue, and then use that revenue to offset some of their costs. But they sold the damn guy to another company that they own. There's nothing in the regulations that says that that's forbidden. The only thing that it says is that it has to be a market value transaction. And with the market value of players these days, you could just say $1 gajillion, and someone would be like, okay, no problem. Yeah. Like PSG would be like, 2 gajillion. So they haven't done that, but everyone should keep a close eye and wave our angry fists in the air and watch as nothing gets done about it.
It's just all the backroom games. It's crazy. There's a game within the game.
I think the real shame here is that New York City FC is basically a carrot. Was a carrot. They're this pretend. It's a pretend thing. It's not a.
I think one of the two franchises is going to become the Cosmos. One or the other, I think, is going to be either the Red Bulls or New York City FC. The franchise, something's going to happen.
Major League Soccer and the Cosmos ownership do not get along.
That may be, but I think sometime in the near future, I think both of them are going to realize one needs the other just as much. I think Cosmos needs the marketability of the MLS, and I think the MLS is going to realize they need at least some sort of American history in their moving forward. And
I mean, they got it. They have it though. They have it from other clubs. They have it from the Sounders and the Earthquakes.
Absolutely. But I think the Cosmos. Really
the Cosmos is the crown jewel. It's the crown jewel.
Thing people think of American soccer: Pele, Beckenbauer, and.
Well, I think it's changing. I think that's. I would love to see. I would love to see that. And not necessarily. Hey, not even necessarily that the Red Bulls or the NYCFC need to disappear, but I would love to see the Cosmos also involved in the top tier football.
There's 6 London teams.
Right. There's I don't know how many Rio and Sao Paulo teams. I mean, all the major cities in the world have more than one club. Mm-hmm. That's not an issue. But those are countries that have hundreds of years
and lots of fans that fill the stadium.
They are also those are clubs there were local clubs for local communities that grew and developed into what we know today. They weren't like a mega thing that just dropped. Yeah. Like someone dropped a pin on Google Maps, like I'm going to Queens. And then drop a pin there and say, okay, we're going to make a mega franchise here, and the community will love us automatically.
Yeah. Real Salt Lake, boom.
Yeah, but they have a strong.
Hey, the All-Star Games in Denver next year.
Is it really?
MLS.
Really?
That might happen.
The Rapids, their stadium I hear is a little.
Sporting Goods.
Yeah, but I think it's a little bit off the beaten path. I think people complain about that it's not really easy.
Yeah, it's more in the suburb, but it's still a cool town.
But
shout out to Colorado Red Devil supporters, good people, if they're listening.
Dave spent some time in Colorado. Apparently,
it was fun.
It was a good time, right?
Yep. Bars open at 7. They serve booed and fear.
Booed and fear.
I was serving the fear.
I love when I go to a bar and I just love the fear that they're dishing out.
The brown sauce struck fear, and that's for sure. No. I mean,
Major League Soccer. Yeah, I figured. Thank you. Major League Soccer is gearing up. Everyone's in a. I'm pretty excited about this Major League Soccer season that's starting. The 2 expansion clubs. They've reorganized realigned the conferences. They moved
geographically, it makes sense.
They moved a couple clubs left of us, left to the left coast. The West Conference does look pretty powerful, but we don't.
Kaká's there.
That's what I'm saying. Kaká's playing. You got David Villa. Lampard eventually will show up. Steven Gerrard playing in L.A. Interesting. Josie Altidore's back.
Timmy Cahill. Get fucked. Get absolutely fucked.
He's leaving, though. He's not staying. Yeah. Well, he wants out. Yeah. He wants out.
Going back to the UK?
I don't know. I doubt it. I think he's going for his last payday somewhere. Maybe he'll go to the A-League.
True.
It'd be nice for Australia. They've had a couple of decent guys go there, but I mean the A-League it's only 10 years old, so they need to keep that going.
Strong.
They need to keep it going. Well,
it was a good one.
It was a good one. We're not going to get too deep into the EPL action. Maybe next week we'll do a little EPL. We're going to try to switch things up. We're not going to do. We're not going to focus on our own. We're not going to focus on Arsenal and Manchester United every week. I promise.
I do that enough in my sleep.
So yeah, next week we'll talk EPL and we'll shift things up a little bit. But guys, again, apologize for the long delay to hear us again. This is a quick one. We're kind of just getting our toes back into the pool. Checking out the temperature. It's also like 7 degrees in my basement right now where we're recording.
No bugs.
No, the bugs are gone.
Frozen.
They're frozen.
No centipedes.
If you have been checking out the website socceryanks.com, we have been putting out some great content. Other than audio content, some great articles. We're getting some exclusive interviews.
Fantastic journalists.
Yeah, Jay Sierra has been getting some great interviews. Some of our other guys have some great insight, great opinions about the U.S. men's national team, MLS. Kyle's got a nice Chelsea podcast if you're into that kind of thing.
It's cute.
If it's your bag.
No, it's good.
if that's your bag, baby. Hey, how about that Diego Costa piece of garbage? On that note.
Cantona had no idea where his foot was going. Just saying.
Yeah. Well, one is cut out of the cloth of the other. Don't worry. Thanks, folks. Good night.
Have a good one.